I think it really all started when I left home to go to the States to study languages. I had dreams of joining the UN or the Peace Corps. I was one of those wanting to do something completely out of the box, completely different and crazy. My parents were having a hard time digesting. So I went for languages. I wanted to know more about cultures, different cultures and different people through their language. Because knowing the language of a people means you get to know the culture and the tradition. And knowing the culture and tradition, you get closer. And you know how to develop ways to bridge and connect us with them. And there wouldn't be an us and them, but there would be a we. So I think the whole concept of me wanting the world to be a we, as opposed to you and I, started from a very young age. I didn't specifically know that I was being groomed and going through what I'm going to go through to become who I am today and do the work I do today. But it seems that everything was done just the way it should have been done. So I never got to go to the United Nations. I did my own little United Nations at home instead, because I got married very young. My parents were very worried that I would go off and do something really wild. So I was married very young. So I had to juggle school, marriage, having children, graduating, all at the same time. I started investing in my children. I said, well, I have the opportunity to create world citizens. So my children are not going to belong to a specific this or that culture. They're going to understand all about cultures, different cultures. They're going to understand all about the different religions and all of the different peoples. And they're going to understand where we come from. And also not to necessarily have to be too attached to it. So yes, you know your roots. It's important to know your roots in history. And it's equally important to embrace others and to embrace the world. So full-time mom with those kids didn't just mean taking care of their food and well-being and schooling, but it really meant a lot of time spent on shaping their thoughts and their thinking. But as they were growing and as we were seeing how they were in school and compared to their other, friends and people, it seemed that they were being shaped to be world citizens. So I'm happy I did that with them. So oftentimes people ask me, so what did you graduate in, or what are your degrees and stuff like that? I say I have a bachelor's degree in languages. I have a master's degree in life. And I have a PhD in something we call leadership coaching. So that's how I frame it. Because it's true, had it not been for life experiences along the way, I would have not been who I am today. With the different people I've met along the way, the different challenges along the way, the hardships, the joys, the sadness. It hasn't been easy. I think I was criticized a lot along the way. We put you through university in the States and now you're staying at home raising kids. I said it's a choice, it's a conscious choice I'm making, because these kids are my biggest investment in life. If I don't invest in them, I don't know what the future will hold. I have to do my part. So I took it pretty serious. It wasn't just having kids. So along the way I did several different things in different areas. Lots of writing, translating, interpreting. I've been a learner all my life, so always jumping in and out of courses. If I couldn't actually work full-time, I was in taking some more learning and knowledge and seeing how I can integrate it, raising my kids and integrating it in life, in my own life. Trusting that one day it will come to use. I don't know how, I don't know where, I don't know with who, but trusting that this is where I'm going. My interest in people and growing them and shaping and getting curious about what makes them tick and what makes them special and unique was something that was very important to me. I knew there was a way that you could get through to people and bring that little thing out. And if you did, you'd have them be the best version of themselves. I didn't have a name for it. I thought maybe I need to go into psychology or something. Maybe I wasn't sure what I needed to do or what I needed to learn in order to take part in something bigger in the world. Fast forward a little bit. My kids have grown up and they're on their way. I need to find something to do. So there's this big opening that was happening here in the UAE where let's encourage Emirati women to get out there and work in the workforce and join, private sectors and stuff. So there was like a hamla, like it was a big thing. And all of these interviews and places were opening up. And I've always had a love affair with hospitality. So Jumeirah announced something. And I said, oh my God, this will be a dream come true. Because my parents never allowed me. And my husband said, no working outside the house. So here was Sheikh Muhammad saying, well, women get out there and do something and take part in the woman's role and da-da-da-da. So I said, okay, I'm taking this on. I don't have any more excuse. I don't need to be home. I still have lots of years. I've done that part of my job. I think I can do something else. And I went to this open career thing. Signed up for like a marketing or strategy. I wasn't sure what I could fit in. And then they came back and said, oh, well, we have a learning and development opening. I said, what's that? I don't want to be a teacher. I don't want to teach. I want to grow people. I don't want to tell people what to do. I want to empower. It's like, well, you have an opportunity. Do you mind trying? So I said, okay, I'll try. Trying was a great thing I did because it was scary. I had joined the workforce after being at home for 18 years, just doing little stuff behind the scenes quietly. And here I was about to work from 8 to 6 and sometimes till 8 to 8. I jumped into the deep end and said, okay, let's see if I can swim there. And I did. We won, the DHDA award for that year within the first 4 months. We were recruiting Emiratis from all over the Emirates, Ras Al Khaimah, Fujairah, all the rural areas. And we were encouraging people, we were giving them a pre-employment program. And we were promising them afterwards. We were giving them incentive and promising them jobs after that. We got 400 people in 3 batches over the span of 4 months, 5 months. So it was an awesome challenge and an awesome experience. And I remember in one of the trainings, the director who was giving this particular course had some calling. He said, Ghada, I need to go. Can you take this one over? I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even read the presentation. What am I going to do? He said, just put it on, the PowerPoint and go through it. So I put on the PowerPoint, I walked in, it was 5 minutes before he had decided he needs to leave and I had to step in. It was more about emotional intelligence. So this was my baby, or I realized that this was my baby. And so the presentation or the PowerPoint is on and we go through some stuff. And then I feel like the energy is not moving in the room. And we always had the boys sit on one side and the girls sit on one side, so you had black and white, and it looked pretty boring and dull. So I said, okay guys, let's stand up. And I deliberately forced them to sit boy, girl, so it looked like a very nice piano. And I said, that's the way the world should be. And I had some people go like this, like that, like what is she trying to do? Like this is very intrusive for our culture. I said, well, hang on a second. You're working here in something called hospitality. You're going to be dealing with the person next to you, whether male or female, not as male or female, but as colleague. So colleague is not male or female, colleague is colleague, full stop. And that means we're equal. So that was the beginning of me testing the waters. That first group, by the end of it, they were like dealing with each other a lot more confidently. There was no more girls going, I can't talk to him, or the guys feeling worried that they can't talk to the women, they'll be misunderstood. Eventually they got the whole colleague thing right. And the other thing I did was I stopped halfway and I said, okay, so I'm going to stop right here and I'm going to ask each one of you, what is your dream? I had quite a few people bicker and go, dream? Are you crazy? are you bringing us here to ask us what is our dream? I don't have a dream. I said, great. So if you don't have a dream, you don't have a purpose. You don't have a need to be here. Why are you here? Pin drop silence in the room. And then one person stood up and said, I have a dream. And I'm afraid to talk about it because everyone's going to laugh. And I said, great. No one's going to laugh here. What's your dream? He said, drag racing. So some people started, I said, hang on. This is no laughing matter. This is his dream. So we respect everybody's dream. I think that was the first time a huge shift happened. And it was success from then on, and that's how we got 400 people in. And what was set up for failure actually succeeded and super succeeded everybody's expectations. So it was brilliant. So that was my first stepping stone to knowing that I can have impact and I can bring about change. It doesn't matter from where I am. You are doing different things in life, and sometimes they don't make sense and they don't necessarily add up, or you think they don't logically add up according to how traditionally we were set up to believe. Like you have to have your bachelor's degree in this, and then you build on with the master's degree because master's is very important, and I was one of those people very attached to having a master's degree. And I actually received a scholarship to go to Italy while I was I was actually working with Jumeirah Group. And once again, I had my father very excited for me to go, and then my husband very disappointed for me to go, and thinking it would break up the family. So I had to give up. I was one of 16 people chosen, and I was the only one who gave up on my scholarship for the sake of family. Sometimes we may give up certain things, but if we really hold on to the dream and what we really want, if it's not that door, there are 5, 6, 7, 8 other doors that will open up. So you gotta be hopeful, optimistic, and you gotta trust that even if somebody stands in the way of you progressing in a specific direction, maybe it wasn't meant for you. And the other learning lesson for me was, I don't need to be attached to having a master's degree as a name. It could be anything else that is more in tune with me and who I am and why I was here. What was I here to do? I wouldn't change a thing that I've done so far, really. Because I remember feeling very small, that with the degree I had, I ended up staying at home because the world made me feel small. But I trusted inside that I was doing the right thing and that I must be destined for something, and I have to trust and be patient and do what I have to do and what I need to do from heart. So I would say trusting yourself. Would I do anything differently? Knowing what I know today? No. It's definitely the journey. It's never about the destination. It is the journey, definitely. And it doesn't matter what you have. They're all small accomplishments. It's as long as you're on life purpose, as long as you know why you're doing what you're doing and for the sake of what, that's what's important. That's what counts. Because along the way, you're achieving little things along the way, and they all count. They all add up. So, does it matter about the destination? Not at all. If you get to see some form of that destination in your lifetime, great. And if not, trust that you will leave a mark and a print. So work for that. That's more important. A little bit more fast forward, I jumped to another job in a different place, and then I find myself stuck in an administrative recruitment role that is expecting to get numbers in just to fulfill a criteria. In my 4-month probation, I said, okay, sorry guys, thank you, but no thank you. That's not for me. That's when coaching came into my life. And that was the next, I think it was the next launch into where I am today. It was through coaching that I found my calling, if you will. The coaching gave me so much more than a master's would ever have given me, because it gave me a way of life, a way of thinking. It reshaped, it transformed me from the in out, and it gave me a toolbox and a set of tools and know-how that no book would have ever been able to give me. So I embraced it all the way, and for the next 4 years, I was going back to school through the coaching, certification through this, relationship coaching, individual coaching, executive leadership, blah, blah, blah. I found myself, I completed another 4 years of study. But this time it was 100% practical life study, where your hours of practice counted, and that's what brought you up to where you were in terms of experience. And that's what I was looking for. I was looking for the experience in terms of real experience, practical, because I think that's the best way any human being learns, through felt experience, like experience in your body, physical experience. And that books are great as a backup and support to give us some knowledge, but the real learning happens when we actually experience. Impacting lives, empowering people, bringing people back home to their soul and heart, and connecting them to their dreams, and helping them build their own wings so that they can fly. You don't have to be in front of the scene to be a leader. You can be completely behind, like the silent soldier. You can be beside. You can be great support, and you can still lead. And someone's success is your success, definitely. So why not? And there's plenty of room for that for all of us. First of all, I want to speak to women. I want to say, as women, we have a fantabulous opportunity in this world. So it's fantastic and fabulous. Fantabulous. To bring about awesome change, provided, one, we believe in ourselves and our capacity and capability, and that we have the power. And the other second point, which is even more important than the first, I think, is to pull other women's hands along and to say, let's go together. You can be fully woman, keep your fully feminine energy, and it's that feminine energy that we're missing and we need more of, and we want to be friends with other powerful feminine energy so that we can grow together. I shouldn't have to be fighting or competing with another woman. We're all different flowers with different flavors and smells and colors. So let's bring the bouquet of flowers together. Success is here for all of us together. So I would say for women, please lean into other women and see her as your counterpart. You know, if you're a director or a VP or a CEO as a woman, you can lend your hand and bring up more women and trust that they will grow. You grow them and they will continue growing you. So I would love to see that happen, and we can lead as an example for the men as well. And in general, I don't mean to say that we don't need men, because we need men, and men can be a fabulous, powerful force, but they too, as men, need to see our feminine energy with its uniqueness. They don't need to see us as men. They don't. When we lead that way, we will invite them to bring on some of their feminine energy, because as women and men, we all, as a man or woman, we all have equal female and male energies, and it's how you balance them. So why not? It's really that simple. I see the globe from space with no borders. I don't care what our history is, who our ancestors were. يا هلا فيهم. يعني they are the reason who we are today. It's a pride and glory from wherever we came from, but really the world doesn't have any borders. God created it blue and white and green and very colorful, and I don't see borders, I don't see lines, I don't see frontiers. My dream is for us to look beyond nationality, color, passport, origin, and to look within each other. In ourselves first, connect with ourselves. Why are we here? We all have a purpose. And then see how I can use from you, grow you, and work with you for a better world. For women in this region, I see us having a much bigger role, and it's starting to happen. I see us leading the way. If we do it together, we have the power to eradicate violence. It's violence that we have to take care of first, and education. So I see us creating change, having impact through education, and I see us even more, like I wish we would have like workshops for women before they get married and have children, because I think it starts at home. I think we start to lead from home as a leader, not as a second citizen. So we use our education at home with our kids, truly investing in them, truly investing time. Time means not giving them just the stuff that makes them happy with money and a good school, but really investing time in conversation, in sharing with them, in being vulnerable, in showing who we are. And we're not perfect, so also sharing that. I'm not perfect. I'm doing the best that I can. If we can all just practice that from home, it's gonna start feeding into the schools. School system needs to change. And I think women have a great role and part of that. We need to also maintain and keep our vulnerability, because that's what makes us powerful. There's power in vulnerability. So not to be afraid to show vulnerability. Not to be afraid to ask for help. We don't know it all. So if I don't know something, I'm gonna come to you and ask for your help, and that's okay. In the region, I see us taking more leadership posts. It's happening already, but I'm seeing it happen more. So I'm seeing maybe it becomes 50-50. There's like an equal balance between men and women in the whole leadership of a country, and taking major decisions that affect social life, that affect families, that affect education. I see that happening. I really do. I think we're getting there. I think we're climbing a mountain, and we're slowly trudging as a female power, and we're patient. We have patience, so persevere. So I think with perseverance and determination, we can do it. Definitely. But together. We can't do it alone. If we want to impact and bring change to the world, we have to be believing and trusting in others. And we have to trust that we can do it together, not alone. It's never going to happen alone. نحن قادرات مع بعض.